Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm on my way to get my son from school, but I wanted to hop on here and give a quick word. So somebody said in the video, more or less, in one of my videos, is there a difference between somebody that is a prodigal that's exercising Christianity, more or less, and somebody that just completely fell off? So yes, there is a difference, but the difference that you may not think. So like, in other words, when a prodigal is, as you would say, hiding behind God, all that is using things of God to fit their narrative. So in other words, they're trying to justify their behavior. So they use the Christianity part. Does this make them a Christian? No. You don't think that they know deep down that what they're doing isn't right. They're justifying it. They need to fit their narrative, and they need to be able to come up with anything they can to fit their narrative. So what are they going to do? They're going to use what they can to fit their narrative. Okay? So, if that means they have to say that maybe the marriage was never biblical, if they have to say that they had justification for leaving the marriage, biblical rights for divorce, they're going to use it. Is there biblical right? Of course there is, unless God obviously says otherwise. Like, in other words, God can override anything in his word, obviously. Like, if he tells you, like Hosea, to stand for a prostitute, even though the Bible says about being equally yoked to be joined to somebody, there you go. Great example. So in other words, they're going to use whatever they can, though, to justify things. You have to understand that going in. So then the prodigals that are just saying, you know what, whatever, I'm not living for God at all, and I'm just going to do whatever I want to do of the flesh, that's a whole other story, okay? But they're both the same. They both want to live a life apart from what God's will is for their life. So there's similarities, but there's differences. Like, in other words, there's difference, and as in, one is trying to hide behind something, and the other one's just being blunt and direct and honest. To be honest, I think I value more of the prodigal who's just basically being direct and honest, because a lot of you guys have to realize that honesty is such a good thing to have. So honestly, I give the prodigals credit that are actually taking accountability to an extent, saying, you know what, I just want to live this way. You know what I mean? So that right too has value, because there is honesty. The other ones have shame, and they want to hide behind God to justify the narrative they're trying to create. So take that for what it is. I hope that this word gave you insight. And then basically at this point, I want you guys to realize that it doesn't matter which one you're dealing with. At the end of the day, all you have to be focused on is they're both wrong, and none of that's your problem, okay? So what they choose to do isn't your problem. That's God's problem. God has to get through to them. You can't get through to them. Are there things that are going to make your situation worse? Yes. Are there things that will make it better? Yes. That's where, again, I come in. To anyone new here, I am Megan. You can call me Meg, Coach Meg, Coach, whatever you prefer. I am a restoration of life coach. I help people evolve in every area of their life. And basically, I have to get my son, but I want to put this out there. If you'd like to work with me, reach out through email, redeemingthebroken@gmail.com. We have 2 Facebook groups, Dead Marriages Redeemed and Redeeming the Broken. Come on over to both. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Put your questions in the comments. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.